Okay, we are at the Village of Minerva Park Council meeting, January 12th, 2023, 7 p.m. And it's, oh yeah, a couple minutes after 7 p.m. And the roll call. Councilperson Goss. Councilperson McNamara, present. Councilperson Cameron is excused. Council President Wolf.
Here.
And Councilperson Bruder.
Here.
Okay. So the first thing that we are going to talk about is the council organizational session, and this is to go over our council president is real, and just to verify if everybody is in fact staying on their committees, which I think the answer to that is yes.
Well, for now, until
they get back. Okay.
Until we replace. At least I was going to discuss all those sections.
Okay. So, for council, do you want to do this one?
Yeah, so I think first order of business in council is electing a council president. At this time, I would like to nominate Councilperson Booth to be council president.
I will second that.
All right, does anybody else have any other nominations? You want to nominate Cameron? All right. Last I heard, he said he did not. But if you think he does, not here to say no. So, all right.
So how do you
I have a feeling to give Councilperson Cameron here to speak to his nomination. Do we want to take this into the next session? Stand over this one session. Then why don't we table this to the next session? I will continue to act in that role should the mayor and I or find themselves incapacitated. I'll gladly step up. Not hoping.
Okay.
But, so I appreciate that. I think that we table this then until the next session.
Perfect.
And do I have a second?
I'm second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, abstentions? So we tabled it until the next session, and we'll deal with it.
Okay. Next we have council meeting minutes to approve. So let's start with December 8th council meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Those are approved. And next we will move to January 5th work session minutes.
Move to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay. January 9th special council meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. January 10th special council meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Okay. Next, we have the appointment of Beth McFarlane and Terry O'Connor as voting members of Planning and Zoning Commission. Do you want to talk about that just for a second, just to remind people what we're doing?
Sure. So, what we got is we just got two openings for both members. We need 3 at-large members for the Planning and Zoning Commission, mayor, and at the present time, the liaison is interim council president. And we need 2 members to step up for our meetings. So,
For clarity, these are just, we are appointing people back in these seats.
Correct.
that is correct. As of
Yeah.
right now, they will be vacated without a reappointment. Thank you.
Right, yeah, that's I think the most important part to understand. These are people currently in these seats, but as those appointments have elapsed, they need to be reappointed in the seats.
Okay. So, let me just individually. Okay.
We'll take this as a recommendation. So I will move that we accept the mayor's appointment of Beth McFarlane to be a voting member of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Anybody going to second my motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions?
And I likewise move that we approve the mayor's appointment of Terry O'Connor to the voting member of the Planning and Zoning.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay. Let's move to village official reports, and starting with Chief Matt Dell with the police.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have anything to add to the report that I submitted, but I will answer any questions. Should you have those.
Does anybody have any questions for Chief? Okay. Moving on to Mr. Jeffrey Wilczek with our fiscal team, our fiscal officer.
I have a few things to point out tonight. I will be closing 2022 next week, and the annual report for 2022 should be available probably mid-February. Okay? A couple of highlights from 2022. General fund ended the year with $2,779,000 balance. That is $670,000 more than the start of the year for 2021. That increase does help us fund a couple of major projects. The start for pool improvements, getting a plan put together, and Jordan Road sewer project. Income tax was $1,847,000 last year. That's $120,000 more than the prior year. And investment earnings were $150,000 this year, which is $100,000 more than the prior year. That's my report.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions for our fiscal officer? If anybody does, you know where to find this email. Okay. My Clickinger's report, I'll go over that briefly. It's very similar to the past reports. Task order number 17 is the GIS development support. Pending payment of our invoice on December 30th. This task is closed and will be reviewed for future updates. Task order number 25 will replace this task starting in January of 2023. Task order number 18 is the 2021 Storm Sewer Improvement Project. This task order officially closed in December and will be reviewed for future updates, and that is so nice to see. Task order number 20 is the 2022 Storm Sewer Improvement Project, aka Jordan Road. Continue to revise the horizontal and vertical alignments based on the conflicts with the rehabilitation facility sanitary sewer. They will continue refining and grading limits to minimize disturbed areas throughout the project. And they have solicited proposals for surveyors to perform the easement work, and you will see that in your legislation shortly. 2022 CCTV inspection analysis, they revised the village's CCTV program memo, both sanitary and storm sewer, to reflect that no work was completed in 2022. This work represents the final efforts as part of the task order. Pending payment of our invoice of December 30th of 2022, this task order will be closed and reviewed for future updates, and the new task order will be labeled Task Order 26. The current planning coordination with village staff is to include the work initially planned for 2022 in 2023. And then we will determine how much work to perform based on the bid results. This again is because our last company that was doing the CCTV is no longer in business, and we are trying to find a new person to do this. Task order number 23, Lake Master Plans. They began preliminary investigation into dredging options, and they have begun preliminary investigations into buffers, vegetation control, lawn care, as well as into trash and debris control. So they are working on the Lake Master Planning Services. So we'll keep you up to date on that one as that moves forward. And that is Mike Flickinger's report. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me via email, and I can forward those to Mike Flickinger. And next we will move to our legal, Jesse.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything specific to report at the moment. Not even if Eric is going to mention a change order to the building that had already been contemplated when we initially passed this. This is the generator. He'll have more on that I've talked to Kevin and Jeff and determined that because the money for this was appropriated several months ago when we did it, that just a simple motion and vote by council tonight would be sufficient to sort of approve that change order and move forward without any delay. Because the money is already appropriated, it's basically just sort of acknowledgement that you are making a formal change order. That's all I had.
Perfect. Anybody have any questions for Jesse? Okay. Next, we will move over to our village planner, Mr. Eric Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, here's a change order to consider. As you recall, some months ago, when we approved our contract with Beaver, we contemplated one of the options was to add a generator to the full building as opposed to the police kind of only one. In that particular case, there's a lot to consider when we do things like that. We have to go ahead and they had to redo a number of things. You'll see it kind of listed out on the form in front of you. One of the items, of course, besides the generator itself, and as you recall, one of the options was to kind of pre-wire for, I think, the cost of $34,000 at a time, which didn't include a full building generator, the ability for the building to have a generator. And so what the council decided to do was for us to say, hey, we don't want to go ahead and approve that $34,000. We'd like to go ahead and see what it is to change the generator out and, kind of in an emergency situation, it would be difficult to find a generator to rent. So this includes the generator as part of that cost. Note that the overall cost is there, minus the $31,000 credit for a smaller generator system. I would say when you look at that final cost of $71,000 change, there's $34,000 that you decided not to spend in the beginning of the process, which goes to all the wiring, boxes have to be changed, and those kind of things. And at this point, there's an additional $30,000 that goes ahead, and $40,000 goes to the generator itself in this process. So it is a bigger generator, does cost money. The generator is a long lead time. We expect the building to be finished prior to the generator being delivered. But as we have to rewire the building for this and upgrade all of the electric boxes that are part of this, that part has to be improved and done now. So we get all the orders in. And that is where we're at. And my conversation with Mr. Wilczek, I'll speak to it. He's going to do a little double checking to make sure we've got the best price before we finally sign off on it. But we'd like to obviously get approved tonight. So we can go ahead, if that's what the council's wishes are, and go ahead and get all orders. There's a lot of lead time and all the electric stuff. Thank you.
Is there legislation to approve that, or is it just a motion?
Just a motion.
Here, beneficial summers where they are hour later, if you are a local cooling station or heating station delivered.
So, does anybody have any questions on this before we move to make that motion?
Do you want to do it now or do it in legislation, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. Do it now.
Yeah, we're prepared to talk about it. Put it on the shelf and turn around and sort it out.
I will move that we accept this change order so that we can move ahead with the plan and installation of the whole facility generator. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? We'll call out to our roving council person just to make sure that they voted.
They did, for the record, Councilperson Costa was currently off camera.
Here.
I did vote aye. So,
Very good. All right, so you have that approved.
Thank you very much.
Aye.
Okay, do you have anything else for tonight?
Thank you, Mayor. Only other thing I'll update on the building is they will be pointing out what I did today. They will be going out and pour concrete for all the foundation areas and everything. We have a 4 pictures that took their construction meeting. So everything should be poured on Monday. And then the strategy is to move forward Real quickly about the rates, this is going to cover the
So our zoning officer report is in the packet. If anybody has any questions, feel free to email myself or John and we will get those. And next we have Mr. President Robin Wolf.
Planning and zoning has been diligently doing a review and rewrite of the zoning code. We have what we believe is a that we are reviewing. We will discuss it in the next planning and zoning meeting next Wednesday. And then, barring unforeseen circumstances, the council for final adoption. I was going to say shortly thereafter.
And that's January 18th here at 7 p.m. Let's make sure we send out a turn on all members. Perfect. All right. And next we will move to the village committee reports, and we will start with President Brian Wolf.
Finance Committee. Finance Committee has not met since the last report. I just had some brief conversations with Mr. Officer Wilczek there, looking to review some formats for some reports. I suggested we will have a meeting sometime in February once we have a new council person onboarded and potentially rearrange committees when that happens. After that shakeout,
Okay. Let's skip streets for a few minutes, which I gave most of that report, but I'll make sure she doesn't have anything else. Let's go to, okay, so we have nothing else to report for streets at this time. Safety, nope. Jason is excused, so we do not have a report for that one right now. However, we do have a meeting planned for January 23rd here at 6:30 p.m. 6:30, January 23rd, Monday night. Councilperson McNamara, proceed.
Safety is not our last report. However, I will say that with safety taking on work with the zoning, I am looking forward to meeting to address it with Nancy and see how we can coordinate that very well. So.
All right. And Councilperson Bruger for legislation.
Our next legislative meeting is the 23rd at 6:30. It'll be in the library here at Monroe France Elementary.
No.
No?
26?
23rd was the.
I thought I said 26. I might have said 23rd. It's 23rd. It just said out loud.
Yeah.
But yes, it is the 26th. 6:15. Sorry, that's the other mistake I made. In the library here at Minerva France, just prior, of course, to the regular council meeting. And as far as what's been going on in legislation, if you've been watching those special meetings, you know all you need.
Okay. And as far as mayor's report, I don't have a lot to report. We've been working on all kinds of things. We have a water main leak, water line leak that we're taking care of. We are obviously working with moving forward on the maintenance building, getting our lake plans done for 2023. Obviously the buildings, we will continue to work and get those done as quick as possible. But other than that, that is my report. So next we have, does anybody have any questions for me? Okay. Next we will move to citizen comments. We do have some citizens here, so let's see if we have any that would like to speak.
All right, our wonderful guest citizens, anyone want to come up and speak, or are you just here to listen?
This is the resident observer. Those who are here, this is your opportunity. If you'd like to address council, come to the podium, put your name and address for the record, and then you have 5 minutes to say what you got to say.
All right. moving on, let's get over to legislation.
Okay. If your voice can be, if your vote can be voiced, you could probably even gesture, and then we could say, no, for the record, that.
We definitely will.
All right. Our first resolution is Resolution 2022-35, a resolution establishing fees for membership for the Minerva Park Pool for the 2023 summer session. There are some changes. As you check out the packet that will be online tonight for this meeting, you can see them. There's quite a few little ones. I'm not going to go through and read all of them. They are highlighted in red. This is only the second reading, of it. That community meeting on the 23rd is when it's going to be kind of finalized, and then we'll have its third reading and vote for passage on the 26th. Nothing's too terribly changed, just a couple of little dollar amounts. Moving on. Resolution 2023-01, resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Peter Ferguson as a full-time police officer for the Village of Minerva Park, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. This is one of the things that we read in the past two meetings this week. Officer Ferguson was in the officially, of course, a police officer for the village. However, still at the start of the 6-month probationary period. This is not his final acceptance, but Jesse kind of said to us, if you're going to hire him, you need to approve him when you hire him, even if you haven't gotten through 6 months. So that being said, I move to pass as an emergency. Second. Any debate? All right, Mayor.
Councilperson McNamara. Aye. Councilperson Berger.
Aye.
Councilperson Koss. Aye. And Council President Wolf.
Aye. All right. Moving on to Resolution 2023-02, a resolution authorizing the transference of funds and declaring an emergency. This will transfer $375,000 from the general fund to the Storm Sewer Improvement Fund and $150,000 from the general fund to the Pool Improvement Fund. The Storm Sewer Improvement Fund should be pretty self-explanatory. If you've been listening and know about Jordan Road, which I'm sure probably had some water issues today. The pool fund, I shouldn't say this out loud, but I will. Our pool is 65 years old. It is time, way past time, to start socking away money for when that thing collapses. Did I know I shouldn't say it out loud, but I did. Yeah, it's, I mean, time. And it's okay. The universe trends towards entropy. We can hold it back for a while, but eventually it gets there.
We've got a few more years before it comes.
We can have a few more years of good, solid patchwork. I am confident in that. There are 1989 Ford Escorts still rolling down the road. I'm sure somewhere. We can keep that pull together. Anyway, as this is our third reading, I move to pass and declare it an emergency.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any debate? All right, Amanda.
All right, Council President Wolf.
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara. Aye. Councilperson Berger.
Aye.
Councilperson Koss. Aye.
All right, moving on to 2023-03, a resolution requesting the county treasurer to provide advance payment of taxes and other sources payable to the village as they become available during the 2023 and to declare an emergency. Yes, fixed typo. This is just telling the county that does some of our tax money collection for us. Hey, when you get that money, give it to us. Don't sit on it and wait to give it to us when you want to. Give it to us when you have to. And I move to pass this as an emergency as well.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
All right, Councilperson Berger.
Aye.
Council President Wolf.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost. Aye. Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
All right, and pass. On to Resolution 2023-04, a resolution directing the mayor to prepare bid documents, organize public bidding, and evaluate responsive bids for construction of a maintenance building on village-owned property. Lowest bids for construction of a maintenance building not to exceed 2,700 feet. As our village has gotten bigger and our green space and things have increased, we're finding the need for more and more equipment to upkeep it. We have no place to keep it. For the past year or two, we've been using things like the old EMS office areas where the ambulance used to park. This not to exceed 2,700 square feet, I believe. The corner of Maplewood, what direction would that be? The east corner, southeast corner of Maplewood. Hopefully not knocking over any of those cool apple trees that just went in. Advantages of that, there's already a road that goes back there that is owned by the village. That, however, is just the first reading. Okay, another first reading. A resolution directing the mayor to prepare bid documents, organize public bidding, evaluate responsive bids, and enter an agreement not to exceed $75,000 with the lowest and best bidder for construction of a shelter house at parcel, okay, here's the fun part, 113-0022369-Reserve H. That little field across the street from the basketball courts. First reading. You have to read the whole title. I got in trouble for that the first year. All right. Resolution 2023-06. Resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into contract to purchase a car video system and declaring an emergency. This is going to be the third reading, and I am going to request that we pass it as an emergency. This is for costs not to exceed $61,000 for new body cameras and related equipment, not to exceed $61,000. Chief Tell, do you want to put a little 30-second blurb on this, or?
We've been operating the old camera system since, I believe, 2011, so I kept going as long as I could, and now parts are available, and it's time to upgrade the system, to integrate the cam and the body cam, so that they'll be all one system, one location, get the new server for storage, and emulating the software, so you can color out people's faces to public records, especially if you have like a medical emergency or something of that nature.
All right, sounds like we went a decade with the old camera and technology equipment, which is 12 years, with the old equipment, which is quite a long time for electronics, and we're getting better functionality. I move passage as an emergency.
Welcome back.
I think I'm not paying attention.
Any?
I don't know.
Any debate?
All right, Councilperson Berger.
Aye.
Council President Wolf.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost.
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara. Aye.
All
All right.
right. I believe this is the last of our ones for this. Yes, it is our last of our Bonanza emergency, our emergency palooza tonight. This is Resolution 2023-07. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter a contract with Dynotech Incorporated for surveying and easement preparation purposes for the Jordan Road Storm Sewer Project and declaring an emergency. Cost not to exceed $51,675. This is to get the surveyors out to start looking at everyone's backyard there on Jordan, putting a little flag, painting on the grass, and planning where the canal will run that not canal's a bad word for that, the very wide, very shallow drainage ditch to control the flooding that's going on there. Yeah. Anyway, this is our third reading. I will point out it says on this first reading January 90th on the packet that you mailed to us today. And then, yeah, January 90th is the first reading. There we go. Moved, and do I have a second? There we go. I can't remember if we had that or not. And it's possible I asked them about that, but I got this credit. Move for passage. There we go. Distracted by the typo.
All right, any discussion? All right, Councilperson Cross. Aye. Councilperson Bruder. Councilperson McNamara. Council President Wolf. All right, that is the end of legislation.
Yeah.
All right, does anybody have any?
That should all be taken care of sometime next 16.
Yes. Does anybody have any old business? Anybody with any new business? Okay, we're going to mention one little thing, only because we have the council seat open. We will be interviewing, if we get anybody that is interested, on January 26th. It will be at council's discretion if they want to do that in an executive session or if they would like to do that out in the public. And then they also have the ability to interview them in the public and then go to executive session, and that's just for being transparent as to what may or may not happen next week. So at this time, I am not aware that we have any applicants yet. So, but we have until the 20th at noon for applications to be turned in, or I should say resume or letter of intent to be to myself or any person on council, and we will distribute from there. And that is all I have to say about that.
And I have a question for our legal counsel based on that. If we were to say only have one applicant, but the current council did not find them suitable, would we have to appoint them, or would we say no one else applied, but we asked someone if they said they could do it, then we appoint them instead?
Yeah, you are not obligated to appoint. If there's one applicant, you're not obligated to appoint that.
Gotcha. Yep. Just making sure. I don't know, that could have come up somehow. I can really see someone ready to speak on that.
Perfect. That's a great answer. And then Eric, did you have something?
You did, yes, Mayor. You reminded me, I did have one piece of new business. Your former representative, Mayor Lightbody, is going to be here on the next council meeting on the 26th to introduce your new representative here.
Yes. And we will put her on the agenda for at the beginning of the meeting before we get into all this hustle and bustle. And we will put president on there and any other things. We will do that. Can you keep that going as well? That's all I have.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Let's go. I will.